Taking Stock. I'm Carol Masser in for Pim Fox. Right now, President Obama is down in Mexico. He is meeting with Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto and Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper. Now, one of the key discussion points for both Harper and the president is the held-up Keystone pipeline, which would carry oil south from Alberta to American refineries all along the Gulf Coast. Our next guest knows all about pipelines. He's Gary Evans. He's the CEO of Magnum Hunter Resources, which has businesses in the Bakken, and he would definitely benefit from Keystone. He joins us now from San Francisco. Gary, good to have you here on Taking Stock. What is your position on the Keystone? It's pretty controversial.
Well, it's not so much controversial for the oil and gas industry. We've been trying to get this pipeline approved since 2008. It's been 6 years now, and I think every environmental study known by man has been made on this system, and it's all come out very positive. So we're waiting on our president to make a decision so that we can get this pipeline built and constructed and add hundreds of thousands of jobs here in the United States.
How do you respond to the critics that are out there? You know who they are. They've been out there. You've got billionaire Tom Steyer. He's been out there against the pipeline, putting money out there to go against it and support those who are against the pipeline. They're concerned about the climate and the potential impact that this pipeline could have. Aren't their concerns valid?
There's millions and millions of miles of pipelines built all over the United States. This pipeline has been rerouted I don't know how many different times to be sure to protect the environment and not go through those ecologically sensitive areas. A pipeline buried, many feet under the ground. What is the climate concern there? I'm still having a hard time understanding that. So it's going to take rail off the railroads. We've seen how many railroad accidents have happened here over the last 6 months, taking crude oil into Canada. And it's going to be the most economic way for us to move crude oil to the refineries in the U.S., a buried pipeline. So come on, the environmentalists would stop everything. So we got to be reasonable here.
What's going to be the direct benefit to the United States as a result of this?
Better access to bring the huge amount of crude oil that we're producing up in the Bakken. We're almost at 1 million barrels a day of crude oil coming out of the Bakken in North Dakota. And the North Dakota is now #2 in the United States, just behind the great state of Texas, of being the biggest crude producer. And we've got to have outlets. We've got to get that crude oil to the refineries that can refine this product and ship it internationally to the markets that need it around the world.
And Gary, I think that's what some of the critics are out there are saying, that their concern is that this is going to go beyond the U.S. borders. It's not going to necessarily benefit the U.S. specifically in terms of its energy demands. I mean, what do you anticipate? What will be the mix? How much will be sent overseas? How much will really directly benefit the United States?
Well, if we don't allow this pipeline to occur, it's going to happen in Canada anyway. It's just like the LNG situation here in the United States. This country has abundant supplies of natural gas that we discovered with the unconventional shale plays here over the last 5 years. And just like a pipeline going to the refineries in the Gulf Coast, we need LNG facilities to ship this gas out. This country is going to become energy independent by year 2020, all due to the work that happens in the oil and gas industry and what we've been able to accomplish. So, we've got to we're a world country. We don't believe in putting up stops for competition. So why aren't we shipping our products around the world? We're shipping oil from the Middle East, have been for all of our adult lives, and to think that this country can now be energy independent, what a great situation for our children and grandchildren.
Gary, let's drill down a little bit more specifically about your company. If I look at the share price, you guys had a great run in 2013, up 75%, way outperforming the broader market, doing fairly well this year. You're up about 20%. How do you justify those gains? What are we going to get from Magnum that's going to kind of support the run-up that we've seen in the share price?
Well, our company's stock performance has been a direct result of our ability to find these huge quantities of oil and gas in these shale plays. And we have now homed in a play up in the Appalachia Basin called the Marcellus and Utica, where we announced actually on Friday the biggest well in the play, 32.5 million cubic feet of gas a day. It's over 5,000 barrels of oil equivalent out of one well. And so we believe that we have found a resource that can be compared to some of the fields in Saudi Arabia area in the Appalachia Basin, right in the heart of the United States, where we need huge amounts of natural gas to feed the cities of New York and Chicago and Boston. So we've been fortunate enough that we got real estate, got acreage in the right spot, and the market's now rewarding us because we're putting on huge wells.
Hey, where do you see prices headed? Because that certainly supports, whether or not folks like yourself, you continue the E&P that's out there. So where do you see nat gas going? Where do you see oil going?
Well, natural gas prices have had a really great run, mainly because of weather.
Right.
As you know, we've had an unbelievably cold winter. It's continuing in lots of parts of the country. And so we're going to end the season when we start injecting gas back into storage about 1.1, 1.2 TCF. And that's going to be almost a record low. So we've got to fill that storage all back up throughout the summer months. And so none of us know, is summer going to be hot, summer going to be cool, and what's next winter going to be like. So we've positioned ourselves, I think, to be in a $4 to $5 gas environment for the next 12 to 18 months.
All right, going to leave it there. Good to get some time with you. Gary, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on today.
All right, good to have you on. Gary Evans, he's Magnum Hunter Resources Chairman and CEO. Coming up, a new trend in the music world.